I would like to know how is the occurrence of cardiovascular diseases in women versus men.
So there is a sudden change in lifestyle of our country. Originally, we were all hard-working people. We are all agricultural people. So we are living on a land where we worked hard and ate the same food, same water. So our body was made up of the same soil, same water. Now today what happens? You eat Punjab wheat, Kashmir mirchi and Andhra rice, like that. Our body has become embodiment of India. But this sort of food from different directions also is not doing well for us. Secondly, lifestyle has changed grossly. You see, there is a sedentary lifestyle. So many people spend lot of time in front of the TV, in front of the computer and always glued to the media. And third thing is, nowadays these are all nuclear families. So husband, wife and child. So most of the time, both the husband and wife are working, they don't find time to cook at home. So what happens? They go and eat outside food and has got 4 important enemies. The salt, the 4 white enemies I will say, the salt, the sugar, the rice and the flour. You see, you go and eat very nice parota in the hotel, full of oil. We don't know what is the source. How many times they would have boiled that oil, we don't know. What are the hydrocarbons in that? What are the trans fats? And children end up eating all packed foods full of trans fats, full of salt. If you look at all the chips, they all contain salt. So the change in lifestyle is not only with reference to food, but also with reference to activities. So physical activity is 100% less. Children, instead of playing outside, they play computer game. Where you see they have a car race, what is the use? So they become like a couch potatoes. So that is a time when the seed is sown in the body for atherosclerosis. You see young women, young men. Normally we say heart attack will not strike a woman before 65 years and men before 55 years. That is the age. If it strikes a man before this age and women before this 65 years, called as premature heart disease. Unfortunately today, nearly 30 to 40% of the young men and women have the first heart attack before 40 years. There was a study, I don't want to tell which company, but who conducted a survey among more than 1 lakh men and women below 40 years. And they found, surprisingly, the hearts of the men and women whose heart, actual chronological age is below 30, their heart age was 37 years. Based on their weight, their BP, their sugar and all those changes. So, we say India is a young country and they say even China has got no middle-aged population. Now they are telling have more children so that we can have young and energetic individuals. But our country is the youngest country in the world. 60% population is below 40 years. But what is the condition of those 60% population? Obesity is there, hypertension is there, diabetes is there, and you find, I can challenge you, see 100 men and women below 40 years, at least 50% are bald, 30% have grey hair, and nearly 30 to 40% have obesity, 30% have early onset diabetes and hypertension. These are all the risk factors. Then our country has got a biggest curse called Syndrome X. What is Syndrome X is, it is a funny type of obesity. First what happens, they get the weight around the abdomen. So there is an increase in the waistline. I always say increase in waistline reduces the lifeline. The longer the waistline, shorter the lifeline. The reason is once the abdominal obesity starts, and you know it starts by about 15 to 16 years in boys and girls, what happens? Insulin resistance develops. Once the insulin resistance develops, slowly they develop hyperglycemia, borderline diabetes. Then this leads to hypertension. Then they have dyslipidemia. And more than cholesterol, these people have more triglycerides. It is also a very deadly fat. Then what happens? Because of obesity, also have borderline hypothyroidism. So the Syndrome X is like a shadow, I will say even it is a ghost following the Indians wherever they go. That means we should be very careful in our eating habits. There are 3 E's which are important for health. The eating habits, the emotion and the exercise. When you have stress, your emotions are changed. More sympathetic flow, more cortisol hormone that leads to syndrome X.
Yeah. So, ma'am, it is always said that the prevention is better than cure. So, what is your opinion about this? Prevention is better than cure?
I will say prevention is better than cure is only for 20th century. Now we are in 21st century. Now the generation is changed completely after the in the 21st century. You see young generation how much they do exercise. You ask them how much of me time they have. Everybody will say I have got no time, because you don't think about yourself. How many times we think of our health unless and until you have a chest pain, some palpitation, some giddiness, some sudden fall of BP or rise of BP. Till then, we don't attach any importance to health. Prevention is better than cure is only for the past century. Today, prevention is the only cure. You know why? Up to 40 years, the young generation spends their time earning. They earn more and more and more and more till they are no more. See how many sudden deaths happen at the age of 40. After 40 years, most of the money and effort is only on rectifying the health. It is like you have a calf and a cow. If you catch them by the rope, it is easy to go and tie them. What you do? You forget to catch the rope. That is prevention. What happens? You allow them to run, catch their tail. What happens? You are dragged in whichever direction they are going. You get hit, you fall, break your bones, break your jaw, everything. Okay. This is what happens when you land in any disease or any health problem. You have so much of damage to your health, to your finance, to your family, to the society. Society needs healthy men and women. What is the use of boasting of 60% of population is below 40 years? And another 10 years, this generation is going to be 50 years. So the prevention at least should start now. Right, so nobody should have, the thing should be in this country, nobody should have angina, nobody should have coronary artery disease, nobody should have BP.
Correct, ma'am. So this is all. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving your time and providing such a valuable inputs on the prevention.
So the last thing I want to tell you is, if you follow proper time management, never say there is no time. If you think of time of 24 hours, you are poor. Think of 86,400 seconds. 6,400 seconds every morning spare for yourself. That is equal to 1.5 hours. Half an hour for meditation, half an hour for yoga, and half an hour for reading something, learning something about health. Remaining 86,000 seconds are there. Divide them, as I told you, into 8 hours. 8 hours for work, 8 hours for relaxation, 8 hours for sports, 8 hours for the family time, and then 8 hours sleep. Right. If you sleep longer for 8 hours, no obesity, no diabetes, no hypertension will be proved beyond doubt. So there is a sudden change in lifestyle of our country. Originally, we were all hard-working people. We are all agricultural people. So we are living